All right. So we start with action, by the way. So it's about jobs and employment, right? So we start with a look at the word job itself. Employment. What other words, what synonyms do we have for the word job? Job, work. I heard a good word, career. Occupation, profession. So you also have the word career. That's good to actually add to the list here. So we're kind of brainstorming together, right? Let's do it. So we have job, work, occupation, career, profession. There's some differences. So when I say I have a job, can I say I have a work? I have a work? No, I can't say. But I have work. Well, I can say I have work.
I have to work.
I have to work. Why should work? But I say I have a lot of work. It means I have a lot of work today to do. That doesn't mean I have a job or I have many jobs. So if you say I have a lot of work to do, basically means, oh my god, I'm so busy today, I have a lot of work to do. So I can't say I have work, but I have a job. Now, same case here. Full-time, part-time job, right? Everyone talked about it. So I would say I have a full-time job, right? Correct? Can I say I have a full-time work? No? So what should I say with work?
I work full time.
I work full-time. I cannot say I, thank you. Thank you.
That's my mistake.
So, you say, I work full-time, I work part-time, but I have a full-time job, or I have a part-time job. Fine. So, because there's a difference between work and job, right? He works, well, he has two jobs. His morning job, his evening job, or his night job. And we have, when you work, full-time, part-time, you have different, what do we call it? 8 hours? 8 hour what? What do we call this? I work in the morning what? I work in the evening? Shift. Of course. Shift. This is called brainstorming, right? So we have the morning shift, we have the evening shift, and we have the night shift, or overnight shift. Sometimes they call it the graveyard shift. You know graveyard? What is graveyard? Graveyard? When people die, they take them to the graveyard and they bury them under the ground. The one topic is death, right? We will talk about death a little bit. You know, grave. When someone dies, we take them and we put them in a grave. Sometimes it depends, different people do things differently. Some people burn the dead body and then the ashes will be kept. Some people bury in a grave. There's a graveyard. So graveyard shift, sometimes, if you say graveyard shift, it means like the midnight shift. And it goes all the way to the morning. Well, it's not very formal, but you may hear it. So graveyard shift. So we have different shifts, right? Now, a full-time job is also called, because traditionally, what are the hours of a full-time job? What are the 8 hours, right? But what are the hours? If I say, what are the hours, that doesn't mean it's 8 hours. If I ask you, how long is a full-time job? You would say it's 8 hours. But if I say, what are the hours here? It means what time do you start, what time do you end? If you go someplace, like to a coffee shop, and we want to know about the schedule, say, what are the hours here like? What are the hours like? It means, like, what's the schedule like? When do you open, when do you close? So, alright, we have shift, we have graveyard shift, but a job, have you heard a 9 to 5 job? A 9 to 5 job? A 9 to 5 job is like a regular full-time job. It's a 9 to 5 job. Because you go to work from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. for 8 hours. It's a regular 9 to 5 job. Say, hey, look, I'm looking for a regular 9 to 5 job. A permanent 9 to 5 job. Because we have temporary jobs and permanent jobs, right? Temporary and permanent jobs and temporary jobs. Well, in countries like Canada, we have many seasonal jobs. Seasonal jobs. Like what? Like it's Christmas time? They need a lot of employers to help. It's a seasonal job. They hire, and then when Christmas is gone, they fire. We don't need you anymore. Go home. So we have seasonal jobs. Most jobs, and we will talk about those words, we'll get back to those words, but most jobs are, in these days, in this perfect state of economy, most jobs are, they pay little money. We call these jobs, like when you get a job, just to be able to live, what do we call that kind of job? We say this, I have a, what job? It gives you minimum what? Minimum wage, right? We will talk about this a little bit in a bit, but when you work, minimum wage. What's the minimum wage like in Ontario? Because in Canada also, from province to province, is different. The minimum wage here is around $11 per hour. In most of the states in the US, it's around $7. $7, $8. President Obama wants to jack it up to about $10. But here's around $11 per hour. That's the minimum wage. So wage, I don't want to get lost, let me give you that word. A job, that's like just a minimum wage job, and you just get that job in order to continue living, keep your body and soul together, you know, just to keep your body and soul together. This kind of job, do you know what it means to keep your body and soul together? It's an expression. It's idiomatic language. People say that. When you just keep your body and soul together, what's your guess? It's only enough to help you survive. So, to survive. What's the noun for survive? Survive is a verb.
Survival.
Very good. So we call this what kind of job? Survive job or survival job? What do you think?
Survival job.
Survival job. A survival job is a job that helps you survive. And the verb, another noun, a person who survives is a
Survivor.
survivor. Have you watched the movie Titanic? Do you know actually how many people survived when the Titanic? What happened to Titanic?
Sink. Sink.
Sink. What is the past tense of sink? Sank. What? Sink, sank? Sink, sank, sunk. Right? Sink, sank, song. Whoa. Yeah? Sink, sank, song. Sink, sank, song. Yeah. Sink, sank, sunk. So, sink, sank, sunk.
So how many people survive?
You tell me. I have no idea. I'm asking you. I remember it was around 2,000 people on board. I have checked it like 10 million times, and 10 million times I've forgotten the exact figure. But I remember it was about 2,000 people on board.
Yes.
You know, on board the ship, like aboard the ship. We have on board or aboard. Remember. how many people were on board Titanic? Or how many people were aboard Titanic? But not on aboard. No, aboard. On a plane or on a ship? The plane crashed with 200 passengers on board. Or 200 passengers aboard. One of them. All the 200 passengers aboard lost their lives. Died. All the 200 passengers aboard or on board died. Let's get aboard. When you go on a plane, what do? You board. They give you what? The card called boarding card, right? Now, we don't want to talk about that. It's just that it's a few words that are good. Sometimes these words come, and random words are good from time to time. When we talk about different topics. So, my recollection is, correct me if I'm wrong, just check it out. A few hundred people.
Around 400 to 500.
Only a few hundred people survived, actually. All the rest, they died. Because there were some lifeboats. You watched the movie Jack? Jack! Yeah? Do you remember Rose and Jack? On the Titanic? Yeah. So, survival job. Yes? If you have enough money only to keep your body and soul together, you can just keep your body and soul together. If you have enough money only to survive. Fine. Minimum wage. Now, of course, when you work, you get paid. Right? To get paid. True? Right. When you get paid, this money is called, it has different names. We talk about wage. Why wage? If it's based on hours, if it's hourly. We have hourly. After hourly, weekly. After weekly, monthly. After monthly, annually. So, if it's hourly, or sometimes weekly, it's a wage. If it's fixed and monthly, or annually, it's a salary. What's your annual salary? Sometimes here you see it says 50, or let's say 100K. What does K mean? 1,000. Like kilo. 1,000. In America, if you say 5G, or 5 grand, it means $5,000. This car is sent me back 5G.